You know what's crazy? Most of us are trying so hard to be liked by someone else, but oftentimes we forget about the main person whose opinion truly matters. That's ourselves. Yeah, I'm talking about self respect. And to be honest with you, this is something that, although it sounds like such a common thing, but many people lack the common analogy of self respect. And this one thing, having self respect, can honestly be one of the fundamentals that is really going to change your life in 2025. Yeah, I'm talking about self respect. And trust me when I tell you, this is one thing that can change everything for you in 2025. Here's the thing, if you don't respect yourself, it honestly shows. People can sense it. It shows in the way you carry yourself, the way you let people treat you, the way you talk, the way you dress. It shows in a lot of aspects, in the way you carry yourself. And the worst part, they'll treat you exactly how you treat yourself. Now don't get me wrong, self-respect isn't about being cocky or thinking that you're better than everyone else. It's just a mindset shift. It's a pattern of recognition of your worth. It's about when you say that I deserve better, or you know what, I'm not okay with the situation. That's what I mean when you need to earn self-respect. It is a mindset shift. So let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I used to be one of the biggest people pleasers that I personally knew. And that meant if someone asked me for a favor, I would drop everything to help this person, even if it meant messing up my own plans. At the time, I used to think that is what being a good friend or a good person meant. But I remember at the end of the day, I used to feel exhausted. I used to feel used. I used to feel burnt out. And to be very honest, I used to feel invisible. So one day, a friend of mine approached me at one of the worst possible times of my life. At the time, I was consumed and swamped with my own problems. So when this person asked me for a favor, obviously, I said, sure, why not? And at the end of the call, as soon as I hung up, I remember feeling this intense anger within me. And not necessarily towards the other person. It was more towards myself. Because I knew deep down, I should have just said no. It hit me that it was me who was teaching all these people that it is okay to take advantage of me. And honestly, they weren't even doing it intentionally. I realized that I was letting it all happen. That I was the reason and I was the one in charge. So now I want to share with you 3 ways that I personally used to step outside of that people-pleasing phase of mine. So now I want to share with you 3 ways that I personally used to get out of that people-pleasing phase of mine. And honestly, it's not like you flip a switch in your mind and suddenly you're this, self-respecting legend. But honestly, it is detailed into the smallest precise things. Number 1, start saying no to things that you genuinely don't want to do, and when you genuinely mean it, because first of all, it's going to be difficult at first, especially if you were like me and if you were used to saying yes to people all the time. But once you start creating boundaries and start saying no to things that you personally don't believe in or personally don't agree to do, you're going to start building that kind of self-respect, and eventually you're going to break off the people-pleasing cycle. Number 2, keep your promises with yourself. If you tell yourself that I want to save X amount of money this month, or I'm going to hit the gym this month, stick to that plan. I know it's difficult, but stick to it with discipline and consistency. Because at the end of the month, when you follow through and you see result, you're going to start building a trust within yourself. You're going to have a trusted relationship with yourself. And once you establish that, it's going to lead you towards becoming a more self-respected person. Number 3, drop the people who don't value you. Personally, this was one of the most difficult tasks for me, but understanding that how much of a people pleaser I was, especially letting people take advantage of me, letting those kind of people take advantage of me who I used to admire and who I used to look up to. But if you recognize a pattern of consistent disrespect towards you for the love of God, it's time to let them go. Think of it like this. Imagine you're driving your car and you decide to let every single person jump in and mess things up and start to dictate you where to go. Eventually, you're going to start to feel lost and your car's going to get trashed. That is your life without self-respect. But on the other hand, imagine when you take the wheel with dignity and you set boundaries and you decide who gets to take a ride in your car. That is when you're in control, and that is when you're demanding self-respect. You see the difference? Do you understand what I mean? And here's the thing. Once you start respecting yourself, the world around you will respond. When you walk into a room with confidence, with set boundaries, people will start to notice because you are unapologetic about your self-worth. Look, I know this is easier said than done. There are going to be days where you're going to slip up and you're going to feel like you're back to square one. But honestly, this isn't about perfection. It's about taking the smaller steps and being consistent and showing progress to yourself. Start with one thing today. Maybe start taking care of yourself a little bit more, eating healthier, going to the gym, sleeping more, having more quality time with the people that you love, and invest more on yourself. Maybe it could be reading a book, getting self-improvement, whatever it is, dude. Just commit to it because you deserve it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on self-respect. Honestly, self-respect isn't just a buzzword for me. I honestly believe that it's one of the building blocks of your dream life, because I believe that if you don't have that kind of trust, if you don't have that trust within yourself, or if you don't have self-respect, you're not going to be able to achieve the dreams that you want to achieve. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what are the first steps you're going to take in order to attain a more respectable life towards yourself. I'd love to know. Alright, that's enough wisdom for today. I'll catch you guys in the next video.